Good morning, Santa Clarita. Welcome in. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVi, and I Lead Schools Eye on the Valley. Our show is brought to you, like I said, by SCVi and I Lead Schools. We are a network of charter schools with campuses in Castaic, Agua Dulce, Lancaster. We've got a fully accredited online school, a burgeoning homeschool program called I Lead Exploration. For more information on any of our schools, classroom-based or virtual, visit us at ileadschools.org. So yeah, we keep our eye on education here in Santa Clarita and across the nation, but like the show says, we like to keep our other eye on the valley. And, we bring you everything that you need to know about what's what here in the Valley. And we try to do it while bringing a smile to your face, because if you're not giggling, you're just not doing it right. So join us, won't you? Well, it looks like we're about through this heat wave. It's been so hot the last couple of weeks. It's a little bit cooler today, and then it looks like we might even get some rain tomorrow, leading to cooler temperatures. It's going to be a nice weekend, and then cooler through next week. So it's almost safe to come out. Almost, but not quite yet. For the next 2 hours, you need to stay right where you are because we've got a great show for you. On today's show, we've got Dr. Leticia Hernandez. She is the new superintendent, the brand new superintendent, still got that new superintendent smell, of the Newhall School District. She just took over this summer. We'll be talking to her in just a couple of minutes. And in hour number 2, we've got the leaders of SCVi, Martha Spansel-Pellico and Chad Powell. You know, SCVi just launched their 15th year. So we'll catch up with Chad and Martha in that second hour. And yes, I know a lot of you tuned in wondering about Big T. Big T will be back today. If you remember last week, we had Assemblywoman Suzette Valadares on, and we went the full hour with her, and it was a great conversation about all she's working on in Sacramento, and we had to bump Big T. Well, Mom didn't take that too well, so she really let me have it over the weekend, and so yeah, my stupid brother and his trivia questions will be back today, and you know what? I think we might have a new participant in our fun and frivolity with Big T. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be informative. Go ahead and grab that second cup of coffee, sit back and enjoy. We're going to go ahead and get started. You know, last spring, Jeff Pelzel, the former superintendent of the Newhall School District, announced his intention to step down at the end of the school year after 4 years with the district, setting the school board on a search for a new superintendent. Well, they could not have chosen a more perfect candidate than Dr. Leticia Hernandez. Dr. Hernandez grew up right here in Newhall and Valencia, attending Newhall schools throughout her elementary years before graduating from Saugus High School. Go Centurions. She then went down to study in San Diego and spent the vast majority of her career in the San Diego area, working first as a teacher, then an instructional coach in Chula Vista, before moving to National School District, where she served as principal, director of human resources, and finally, assistant superintendent of human resources. School Board President Donna Rose announced the hiring of Dr. Hernandez by saying she embodies the values and collaborative leadership style that Newhall School District is known for and will carry forward our mission and vision of our student-centered school district. Dr. Leticia Hernandez, welcome to Eye on the Valley.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. Big news to have you back. And personally, we were excited. We'll talk a little bit more about it maybe a little later on, but you and I go way back as well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background? I mentioned in your intro that you grew up here in the Valley. And in fact, as I said, you and I went to school together. But this is the first we've seen each other since high school graduation. So tell us about yourself growing up here in Santa Clarita and then what you've been up to since.
Yeah, of course. So I had the wonderful experience of attending Newhall School District. I attended Newhall Elementary from kindergarten to 6th grade. So as you can imagine, it's such an honor and pleasure to be back at the district that I actually was part of and that cultivated who I am today. I also had the opportunity to teach at Newhall Elementary for 1 year as a bilingual teacher. So I really feel like this is the place where I was meant to be. This is a dream come true for me to be here. After my experience as a teacher here in the Valley, I moved, got married, went back to San Diego, and had a multitude number of experiences as well that prepared me to come back. And as I was sharing prior to Matt, when this job opened up, I just couldn't believe it. And I thought, this has been my dream to come back here and lead the students and the staff and the community at the Newhall School District. So when I got the position, I was just so honored and excited, just very excited to be here.
Well, I mentioned that you were just absolutely perfect for the job. You were telling me that the job seemed to be perfect for you. It really is a terrific match, a former student and obviously a resident of the Valley. But you spent quite a while, maybe a few decades down in San Diego, as you mentioned, growing your career. So what's it like to be back? I'm sure you came back to visit from time to time, and so you've watched our community grow. But it's different living here. So you've been here, a few months now. What's it like being back?
Yeah, so I have had the pleasure of having my family here as well. So my brothers and my sisters, along with my parents, have been here. So I have been to the Valley throughout the years, various times, probably about once a month. So I did get to see the Valley grow. And for me, that was always really exciting. I did get lost sometimes because I'd come one weekend and the next month there's a whole different street. But it was a really great opportunity to see the Valley grow. I've been here now for 2 months. It's going,
Okay.
2 complete months. I am just in awe of how it's been developing and growing, and just how it still gives you that small town community feel, even though it's larger with more people and it's just growing, but definitely you still feel that small town, and I've missed that. Living in San Diego, it's a beautiful place. I loved being in San Diego. That's where I got so many wonderful opportunities, but it's definitely not Santa Clarita Valley. And so being back here for me was just coming home. This is where I belong, and I feel so good to be back.
Oh, that's great. And what a great description. Yeah, I think those of us that have been here a while understand what you mean about Santa Clarita growing. And we talk a lot about, we're the third largest city in LA County. And so, yeah, we are kind of a big town. But we've grown with such intentionality, and our community's just been fantastic. We still keep that small hometown feel, and I really enjoy it. We're here with Dr. Leticia Hernandez, superintendent of the Newhall School District. So you joined Newhall on July 1st, kind of a whirlwind. They started their search and found you in June, and you were back up here on July 1st. And I took a look at the calendar. It's been just about 50 days. So how's your first 50 days with the district been? What have you been up to, and how's everything going?
I have been embraced by the district, from the community, the students, the staff, and they have been absolutely wonderful with me. I've been able to visit all the schools on numerous occasions. I met with parent groups, as well as local community members. So I feel those 50 days I've really been able to start building those relationships, focus on our goals. What is happening in Newhall School District, and how can we move the school district forward, especially with the pandemic coming to a close.
Yeah.
Because that is really our goal, to look at it as the pandemic is coming to a close. So I have really the unique experience of taking our school district and building it back up and moving it forward. I just see these 50 days have been, for me, they have been great. I have an amazing school board who's been very supportive and has really also embraced some ideas that I have to move the school district forward. So I really couldn't say anything other than it's been wonderful.
You're right. I think this is a great timing, great opportunity to start as we come out of the pandemic to rebuild things. There's obviously some things that can happen more quickly, but there's some long-term effects that especially our kids and our staff have been through. And so the opportunity to start rebuilding, regrowing, and we all were given that opportunity to kind of take a step back and re-examine and look at where we're going, and a great time for you to be stepping in. You brought up a couple of concepts that I want to get into. We'll talk about those maybe after the break, but I know you've got an event scheduled coming up in October, the 2022 State of the District. And this is the first I think I've heard of our school districts actually doing that kind of a formal type of event, the State of the Newhall School District. So can you tell us a little bit about what the event is? Is it open to the community? If so, how can people attend? Can you just give us a little, maybe you can give us a sneak peek without giving away too
course.
much. What is the state of the district?
So the state of the district is actually something that happens every year from Newhall School District for many years. This is an opportunity for the superintendent, the board, and staff to relay their goals and also celebrate accomplishments that have happened that possibly may have to do with data or just overall topics that are really important to the school district. So it is on October 18th at Wiley Canyon. It's open to the public. We will be sending out information to the school sites as well as to advertising. And yes, we would just need RSVP just so we know to make sure we have enough space, but it is open to the public, and we hope that as many parents and community members can make it, because we will be also asking for input, and you know how important it is to hear from our community and our parents and our staff. That's really what guides our work. Is to hear what they have to say. So I'm really excited. It'll be my first state of the district. So our board members also take a lead on it as well. They have a strong position on it, and they help build it. That's why we did discuss it at one of the board meetings, because they do guide that work. And so they guide me, and then I take it forward. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah. And again, great timing. You'll have, at that point, a few months under your belt, and this is the state of the district as I see it. Obviously, the board has a little bit different perspective, and you're absolutely right about your school board. You've got a terrific board. So that's, again, October 18th. It is open to the public. Information will be filtered through the schools. I'm imagining for community members that don't necessarily have kids, you'll be posting on your website?
Correct. We will be posting on our website with the information, the time, the place. Of course, like I said, October 18th, Wiley Canyon. I believe it is at 6 o'clock, and we'll have information on the website so that anybody can go on there and find out.
And I know you'll probably go into a little bit more in depth at that state of the district, but let's talk about those long-term effects of the pandemic that I was mentioning. You know, it hit our schools hard. I know we're turning that corner, but still dealing with our third graders. They're still getting used to being in school when, we would normally, I taught third grade for years, and I would tell my kids, come on, you know how to do this. Well, they're still adjusting, and even our sixth graders are just kind of getting back and still dragging some habits and some behaviors that we don't always expect. I feel like I'm answering the question for you before I even ask it. So what are some of these long-term effects that you're seeing in your district in relation to the pandemic, the closure and things like that need to be dealt with in the immediate future?
Yeah, Newhall School District was one of the districts that really pushed to open our schools as soon as possible. From the beginning, I know that they saw how detrimental it was for our students and our children to be at home. They really wanted them to come back. So I'm sure, as you know, they pushed to bring these children back.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
We were fortunate that they were able to come back so that we could avoid as much learning loss as possible. We all know that being in the classroom for some students is what's best for them. Not all. Some do wonderful in the virtual environment, but not all of them did, because they were not used to it. And so we are seeing some repercussions of that, of course, especially like you said, the third graders, when they started, they were kindergarten, first grade, second grade. It has been very difficult because they've had to come back and get used to being in a classroom, following the rules, just really making sure that they had a routine. But, from the 2 months that I've been here, I've been to so many classrooms and visited so many students. Honestly, and I'm very biased, yes I am, of course, but if you walked into my classrooms right now, you would not know that there was a pandemic.
Oh, wow.
Children are working hard. They are focused. They're engaged. They are working on things that you thought, oh, how did they know that? But then, of course, our teachers that's really, I'm going to give it to the teachers, because the teachers are doing small groups. They're trying to fill in those gaps for our students because they know that they missed out on some of those important standards. So our teachers, my hat's off to them because they are working so hard to make it seem seamless.
Absolutely. And let's not forget how difficult this time was on teachers trying to shift, learn all
Absolutely.
these new different skills, and then bring kids back and reteach them how to do all these things that, like we said, a third, fourth grade teacher usually didn't have to teach their kids because they knew
No.
it. And yet still, not only staying in the career because it's been hard these last couple years, but then but really thriving. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hats off to your teachers and your staff. We're with Dr. Leticia Hernandez, superintendent of the Newhall School District this morning. When we get back, we're going to talk about her vision for the future of the school district and a lot more. So stick around. I'm Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVi, and I lead Schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.
Folks, this is your pancake speaking. If you look out your window, we're flying over IHOP's delicious international pancake combos.
Sweet tres leches.
A pancation wonderland with views of Belgian chocolate, tres leches, and vanilla spice.
Pancakes.
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 You know, let's back this thing up and take another look.
Go on a pancation with international pancakes at IHOP.
Experience Frontier Toyota's all-new hot and exciting Toyota lineup. Serving the Santa Clarita Valley for over 30 years. Frontier Toyota, the Camry, Corolla, and Prius Kings. They're tops in Tacoma and Tundra trucks. Frontier Toyota, the new way of car buying. Shop from home at frontiertoyota.com or visit their showroom at Valencia and Creekside. Discover a whole new car buying experience with your friends at Frontier Toyota.
No contract pest control. Did you hear that? Yes, Unipest has no contract, low impact, affordable, and environmentally and family friendly pest control options with orange oil or other family friendly products. Whether it's ants, spiders, gophers, termites, or bed bugs, Unipest Termite and Pest Control has an effective, eco-friendly option for you. Call Unipest today for a free orange oil inspection at 661-BUG-7575 or visit unipest.com.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVi, and I lead Schools Eye on the Valley. And this morning we're talking to the superintendent of the Newhall School District, Dr. Leticia Hernandez. Before the break, we were talking about the effects of the pandemic and how it hit the kids and how it hit the teachers, and when we're still recovering from that. Sounds like your staff is doing a great job kind of getting back to normal, getting kids back on track. But it was a hard time for families as well, right? Especially in this community that's so used to being on campus. That school is not a place where you send your child. School is a place where the whole family goes, and especially here in Santa Clarita, the schools are a hub of the community. But for so long, our families weren't able to be on campus. It was stop at the gate, leave your kid, and those fun events and things like that on the weekends were paused, and we kind of got used to that, sending our kid to school, not going with them. So now that our schools are back open, what are you and the folks on your team doing to re-engage parents, to get them back involved and kind of back to where we were?
Well, Matt, I have to say, our PTAs, our PTOs, and our foundations have done a wonderful job of re-engaging our parents back.
Great.
So on back to school night, our campuses were filled. I got to make it to half of my sites.
Oh, wow.
And our campuses were full with parents, parents ready to engage themselves back on campus. So I think that has a big integral piece in it because our teachers, our administrators, they're wanting those parents back. And since we are used to, like I said, that small town feel of where our families are very involved in our schools, it's happening. Every time I'm at a walkthrough, I have parents working on campus. they're volunteering in classrooms. So we do have a very open policy. We want our parents to come on our school sites. We welcome them, and we want them there. So that's been really a focus for our administrators and our staff, is to welcome parents back. Gradually, of course, it started, but really right now we have open campuses where they can come and volunteer at any time.
That's
so
fantastic.
that's been our goal. And like I said, our PTOs and our PTAs and our foundations already have the multitude number of events. So that really helps, because that makes everyone feel comfortable to come back and just enjoy some family time at the school sites. That's what we're here for. We're here because we are a family institution.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can't, we talked about how phenomenal the teachers have been in getting the kids
Yes.
back on track. But without that partnership with families, you're fighting an uphill battle. So that's got to have been a huge help as well.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So an important thing that a new superintendent often does is set a vision for the future. So have you done that yet? I know you work closely with your school board. You're not just the monarch up there at the top making all the decisions.
Right.
So what's your vision or your goals for the Newhall School District as you head into your administration?
So one of the reasons why, I'll be honest, I'm even here today is because of the Newhall School District. I come from a family of 7 children. I'm number 6. And when we came to this country, we didn't speak English. And Newhall School embraced me and taught me to speak English and to love school. So for me, they engaged me into education. And I think that's what started my career and who I am today. So I really do feel like the engagement piece is so important. So coming back from the pandemic, I really started talking to a lot of constituents and to my staff as well as parents. And what the pandemic took away from us was engagement, that interaction and that engagement. And what my vision for this year has been to focus on engagement for all of us, as well as gratitude. Because I feel that we lost a little bit of that through the pandemic, that gratitude. And we are so grateful to be back on our campuses. We are so grateful to our teachers who stuck it out and were at home and then had to come back to the classroom. We're so grateful to our parents who didn't give up on the school systems.
Right.
And all the staff that we have that were there every single day. And sometimes we don't stop to say those things. And so that is my focus for this year. And as I told my staff and my board members how grateful I was back to be here and to give back to the community that made me who I really am, and just appreciate that. So as a district, that's my vision for this year, is gratitude and engagement. And
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And I love the focus on gratitude. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday for that reason. I think when people truly focus on gratitude, it changes things. It changes things a lot. But let's also talk about re-engagement, and let's ask a little bit more, because there's a reason they give me this microphone. Let's ask of your community.
Of course.
So what do you need right now in order to kind of support that vision and support the continued progress of your students in your district? If you could ask from your families and from local businesses, because you know how charitable our community is, what do you need from the community?
Yeah, so of course, the school districts and small businesses are what builds our communities,
Right.
And especially here in the Santa Clarita Valley, they really do build our community. So I do see it as a partnership, and how important it is for us to have a partnership with them. Some of our school sites, we've been very fortunate because recently we did have a partnership with some community members to provide glasses and dental exams for our students. And so those are the things, of course, that we appreciate so much, because they came and they dedicated their time to prepare our students to come back to school with glasses, dental exams, those things. We do have some of our families that are in need and need those services. So, of course, community members, if you're out there listening, those are the things that we do need as well. And that was Samuel Dixon. They were the ones who participated in that. We appreciate that so very much. they've already partnered with us, and we plan some more partnering. We also need type of sponsoring so that when our PTAs and PTOs welcome those parents back, maybe we have some services that are there for them. I think that's really, really important. And then, of course, services, like I said, for our families that may need that extra support. So for me, my goal really is to see who are our partnerships. Is it the Chamber of Commerce? That's something that I'm accustomed to, is being part of the Chamber of Commerce as an educational institution. So I haven't delved in that much, of course, within my 2 months. But that is something
One
that
step at a time.
that I want to look into, because I do feel that the community can make the school district stronger, and the school district can make that community partnership strong as well. So I do see it side by side, and I do see some of our families needing that support, and I'd love if our community members and small businesses offered those supports to us.
You bring up some great opportunities. Obviously, some of the tutoring businesses or things like that. That's a natural fit. And so, give Dr. Hernandez a call. But also, you brought up something that I wouldn't have thought of. Flower shops, party shops that can blow up 500 balloons to be the archway to your event or anything like that. Or, gosh, if you're a small business owner and you really don't know how you can connect to benefit the school district, but you want to, give Newhall School District a call. Ask for Dr. Hernandez's assistant, and I'm sure they'll be able to find a creative way to partner with you and for you to partner with them, because we are building the community together, definitely. Now, as far as being an important part of the community, Newhall School District has always worked since its inception and being very integrated in the community. I want to give you just an opportunity to kind of brag right now. What are some things that you would brag on? What are some highlights going on at your school, at your different schools, or district wide? What are some of the things that you're really proud of?
So, of course, we're really proud of our dual immersion program. This year, our dual immersion program has started. We have a TK class now, or a UPK, and then we also have went all the way now to 4th grade. So we have UPK to 4th grade at Old Orchard. So I'm extremely proud, especially being a dual immersion teacher, of course, then I'm extremely proud of our program, because we are developing children who will come out truly bilingual. And in this society right now, that's so important. So I would say that's really one of my bragging points there.
And I'm a huge proponent as well, but for our listeners, I just want to pause you right there. I know you've got probably a ton of other things to brag about, but talk to our listeners. If my kid already speaks English, why would I want them in a dual immersion program? Why is that something that's pedagogically important? Why is that good for kids' education?
Yeah, of course. So a child will come out speaking, for us it's Spanish, they'll come out speaking Spanish and English, and it'll be dual. So they are receiving instruction in 50% Spanish, 50% English, and when they leave 6th grade, they will be fluent in both reading, writing, speaking. That's our goal. So, of course, for us in this society right now, we all know that our brains will function at a higher level when we know 2 languages. And we are starting a partnership as well with the Heart District as well, because they will continue on the program eventually. So for us, that's a really big goal for our students to be able to continue and have those 2 languages in place.
Yeah, really important. Oftentimes families will think, but won't that take away from like the content of their education? And it doesn't. It actually adds to it.
I know you think that at first. You think, okay, but if they're learning Spanish, then they're not going to learn their academics in English in a proficient manner. But absolutely not. If anything, that other language really supports their academics and improves. They struggle at first. We won't say that they don't.
It takes a while.
It takes a while. But then you'll see when they leave 6th grade, you'll be so impressed. So for me, that is definitely a bragging point that we have a dual immersion program.
Yeah, and research shows higher test scores,
Absolutely.
greater critical thinking ability, greater ability to collaborate, be creative, because you're used to functioning in more than one system. You come up with more than one way of doing things. Yeah. What else would you like to brag about your district? Yes,
absolutely. I have so many things. I can go on forever, but I'm going to pick a few. And then, of course, I would have to say, through the teaching staff and our support staff, just looking at the scores tentatively, of course, the learning loss, is not as evident as you would think it is.
Okay.
I mean, of course, the scores are we're still working on the numbers, but academics has been our highlight always at Newhall School District, and you can definitely see that. So they're still moving along, and they're doing really good. So I think that in itself, because the pandemic really created some chaos. It really created chaos.
Sure.
And so we were really looking at, okay, how will our children score? But honestly, I think they did really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Definitely.
another bragging point.
Absolutely.
And then I think my last bragging point, I'm going to give it to my community, my parents. You know, I think we have, sorry, Matt, we have the best parents. We really do, because they're so supportive of their children, just so supportive. And that is something that you can see, like I said, they're on our campuses, they're working, they're supporting our teachers, they're there. And that is such a highlight to see, because they're part of our Newhall School District.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And you're right. I'm sure you've got a laundry list. You've got this amazing theater
And okay, let me just talk about that.
Oh,
then,
okay.
because my last one is,
No, go right ahead.
our arts. We have, and I'm sure if you followed the Newhall School District, for many years, we have an amazing music and arts program.
Yeah, you do.
As a child, I participated in the music program. So it's continued on, and we give the opportunity for children to participate in an orchestra as well in the arts. And we're so fortunate that we have so many children from all over the valley that come to our district because of the arts. So you'll see more coming, because we are having some programs and some grants that have been written that we are trying to develop and move forward with that, because we do have our theater, and we are going to integrate some more projects into that. So that's more to come.
All right, fantastic. Well, gosh, I said it before, and I just don't think Newhall School District could have found a better match. You certainly seem happy and glad to be here. Dr. Leticia Hernandez, Superintendent of the Newhall School District, I want to thank you so much for joining me this morning. I know how busy your life is and how much you've got going on at the district, but we want to congratulate you, wish you all the best, and say thanks for coming in.
Oh, thank you so much, Matt, for even having me here. I so appreciate it, and so nice to see you.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. I am Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVi, and I lead Schools Eye on the Valley. When we come back, a really cool event that you're going to want to attend this weekend to honor Patriots Day on your hometown station, KHTS.
Santa Clarita Valley residents now have greater access to the excellent physicians and high-quality medical services for which Providence Holy Cross is known. Providence Holy Cross Health Center in Santa Clarita features state-of-the-art cancer and imaging technologies, as well as board-certified physicians in a variety of medical specialties. Quality and compassion from a healthcare provider you can depend on. For more information, call 1-888-HEALING or visit us at providence.org.
It's officially pumpkin spice season at Dunkin'. So much to choose from. Pumpkin cream cold brew, pumpkin spice signature latte, pumpkin donuts and muffins, pumpkin K-Cups. Now with the Dunkin' Rewards app, enjoy a $3 medium pumpkin cream cold brew or pumpkin spice signature latte now through September 13th. Order ahead with the Dunkin' app and accumulate points. Located on Bouquet Canyon in the Lowe's Shopping Center and on Sierra Highway in Canyon Country. Santa Clarita runs on Dunkin'.
It's time to experience a pain relief, wellness, and anti-aging treatment unlike any other. It's time to check out Mend Cryotherapy. Relieve chronic joint and muscle pain, diminish soreness and inflammation, alleviate stress-related symptoms, boost immune system performance, and improve sleep and recovery times. Mend Cryotherapy is open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go to MEND, cryotherapy.com.
If you're thinking of remodeling the bathroom but just don't have the time or money, how about a new shower enclosure? Preferred Glass and Windows can help change the entire look of your bathroom with frameless, semi-framed, and fully framed showers. New hardware options, textures, and glass thickness options are endless. Worried about water stains? Don't be. Preferred Glass and Windows offers a protective coating to deal with buildup. Call Preferred Glass and Windows for a free consultation. 661-255-1170. That's 255-1170. Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. My next guest is Tim Trauig. In 2015, Tim and his wife Susan founded Guardians of Santa Clarita Valley out of the recognition of the need to bring like-minded individuals with similar backgrounds and experiences together to form a community of support and action. They wanted to provide a place where individuals could, do life together and encourage one another to live life at its full potential. And, this weekend, for Patriots Day, they have an event planned that I was super excited about. First of all, Tim, welcome back to Eye on the Valley.
It's good to be here with you again, Matt.
I'm glad you're back because, you've got a bit of an update, a little bit of bad news.
Yep.
So, all right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the bad news. Let's talk about the good news, and then I also want to talk about Guardians because you guys are doing amazing work. You bring a tear to my eye every time you're here.
Well, thank you.
So last week you were here. You had me fired up about all the VIPs that were going to be out in the parking lot at Higher Vision Church.
Yes.
Got to be honest, VIPs are cool, but pancakes are cooler.
Yep, and classic cars and muscle cars are cool too.
Yeah, and then a place where, I can let my kid go crazy and I can enjoy those muscle cars. Tim, what happened?
Well, we started taking a look at the weather, and the weather report didn't look very good, and we had to make a decision a couple days ago on, what we were going to do as far as continue to hold the event for this Saturday or maybe move it. And with the big turnout we had last year and all the people that would be coming out, we thought we didn't want to take any chances of lightning, thunder, which was projected for Saturday, as well as winds. And we all saw what happened a week ago or so with the wind and everything that came up that just was crazy.
We got hit by like a 20-second hurricane.
I know, it was crazy. So all that was still in our minds. And we thought, and we do a lot of setup on Friday night. So normally we would set up tonight. And it's supposed to rain throughout the night, so we would have all our stuff out there. So we decided to move the event to October 1st, Saturday, October 1st. So we're not giving up. We are going to continue to have a Patriots Day that we can remember and reflect on what happened on 9/11. And we just moved it to another day, and everybody's staying the course. We're still going to do all those things that we had planned to do, and we still have great VIP guests with Mike Garcia and Jason Gibbs that will be there. We still got all the cars coming out, pancake breakfast, and we're praying that God blesses us with some better weather on October 1st. So.
So not canceling. That's good to hear.
Yes.
Bumping it to October 1st, which is just a couple weeks away.
Yes.
It blows my mind how quickly we're heading out of summer and into fall.
Oh, my gosh.
But great, I've done plenty of work trying to schedule with some of those VIPs, and it's awesome that they were all able to reschedule for you because their schedules can get tight. They've got a lot going on.
Absolutely.
So one more time for honoring, commemorating those that were lost and what we carry from 9/11, celebrating Patriots Day on October 1st here in just a couple of weeks. Same event. All the VIPs, classic cars, pancakes.
Yes, and all our great sponsors, Audi that's sponsoring our event this year. All of our great sponsors will be there, and we appreciate each and every one of them putting up with the change. And actually, a lot of them were happy that we were deciding to move it because bringing cars out and all that, these guys have some amazing cars.
That they don't want sitting in the rain.
You bet.
Yeah. Gosh. All this stuff I didn't think of. I thought, boy, my garden's going to be happy this weekend. Okay. So postponing the event to October 1st, but September 11th is still a significant day for all of us.
Absolutely.
But you're a first responder who supports first responders, and that's kind of who we turn our focus on during September 11th. So that day is still coming this weekend.
Absolutely.
Tim, how are you as a man, as a husband, as a citizen? How are you planning on spending the day now that it's not going to be with this big celebration?
Yeah, as it is for me every year on 9/11, I do a lot of just reflecting and remembering because I can remember where I was that day, what I was doing. I had left work that morning at 5 a.m. in the morning, kissed my wife goodbye, went into my 3 daughters' rooms and quietly said I love you to each one of them like I always did before I went to work. And remember getting the rig ready at the station, getting things done outside the station when somebody came out and said, hey, you guys see what's going on TV. And I remember going inside, seeing the video playback of the first plane hitting the World Trade Center.
Sure.
And it was shocking. And then to see the second one to go, oh my gosh, this is intentional. Something's, what in the heck's going on here? I was in the middle of a study program at that time to promote to the rank of captain. I'd been doing it for almost a year.
So you mentioned the rig, you mentioned the station. You are a retired firefighter.
Yes, I spent 35 years with LA City Fire. I've been retired for 7 years. And at that time, I was in the middle of this big study program. And when that happened, that so knocked me off my feet. I started to question, do I want to be in that position as a captain? Do I want to be the guy that says we're going up and being the responsible person? Hey, this is what we're going to do. I know I would do that because it's in my nature. It's in our nature as firefighters to go and do what we need to do to help. But I thought, man, that's such a crazy responsibility. And I think about what was in these guys' minds as they were going to those towers, knowing that what they were going into was something that very likely was going to cost them their lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think about all of that. I think about how blessed I am that I am alive today, that I have my family, that we have people in our communities that are willing to risk it all, like our fire, police, and military, to provide a better country, community, and protect our families. So it really is a day of reflection for me and remembering what I felt that day and being so blessed for all of those that are willing to sacrifice so much for others.
You're absolutely right. And first of all, Tim, thank you for your service. And to all of those who are listening that put their lives on the line for the rest of us, thank you. But there's a couple different layers of that type of service. You're absolutely right. We saw thousands of people trying to get out of those buildings.
Yes.
Yet hundreds of people, those first responders, were rushing to get into those buildings. That's just something that, for me, is unfathomable and truly harrowing. But even, you put your life on the line. You were able to make it to retirement, thankfully. But in the course of those events and in the course of your service, you deal with so many things that even though they may not take your life or wound you physically, you carry those things. Yeah. So based on that idea of first responders trying to process and deal with all the different tragedy that they see throughout the course of their career, day after day after day, you founded Guardians of Santa Clarita Valley. Tell us a little bit about the why and what you all do to give back to our first responders.
Yes, I think the why is I started to realize, like you said, just the impact that seeing trauma over and over, day after day after day, can have on you as a person. I have a carousel of slides that I'll never be able to unsee that, are there. And the culture I grew up in on the fire department, as it is with law enforcement and the military, is you take all those normal emotions when you see traumatic things and you put it in a box. And then so you can do your work.
Right, because you can't stop and scream and weep and break down. You've got a job to do.
And after a while, I got on the fire department when I was 19 years old, so I was just a kid.
Yeah.
And I had never seen a dead body or been around, traumatic things like that. And all of a sudden, you're exposed to this environment, and you're trying to figure out how to process this. So you watch the old timers, and you see how they do, and they seem like it doesn't bother them, and they just go back to the station and have lunch after traumatic things like nothing happened. And what I realized is they had developed a set of skills that can be helpful on the job, but can create some collateral damage outside the job.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to do something that could help law enforcement, military, and firefighters have a safe place where they could go and just offload some of those things that are in that box.
Right.
Have a safe place with other peers, because it's peer-to-peer support, which is so powerful. You feel comfortable when you walk in the doors because it's like your family. And the banter that's there is something you're very used to. It's like what you got around the kitchen table or in the barracks, in the military.
Right.
So it looks familiar to you, feels really good. And so we have opportunities to just talk about areas of our life and things that, where we can see that there's been some collateral damage. There's a lot of divorce in those rooms.
Yeah.
There's been drug abuse, alcoholism, domestic violence, suicide ideation, depression, anxiety. When you think about, and a lot of people don't understand it unless you've been doing some of these things, how much trauma these men and women see year after year after year.
Yeah, and you're right. It's tough. You don't want to go home to your spouse and dump it on them. And even if you did, they don't necessarily understand. They can't empathize. You certainly can't give it to your kids. And so to be able to go to somebody who understands because they've been there for years like you have is extremely helpful. Tim Trauig, founder of Guardians of Santa Clarita Valley, thank you for all you do. I want to let you give your website for folks that want to contribute. They may not be able to join us for the pancakes on October 1st, but how can they contribute?
They can go to guardiansscv.org, and they can also call us at 661-347-6307.
Fantastic. That's guardiansscv.org to help contribute to this amazing foundation that's doing work to take care of those that take care of us. And again, that Patriots Day celebration is not canceled. It's being moved to October 1st, parking lot of Higher Vision Church. Pancakes, VIPs like Mike Garcia and Jason Gibbs, classic cars, all kinds of great things for the kids to be distracted by while we're playing. So make sure you get out there on October 1st. When we get back, we will have the leaders of SCVi Charter School, Martha Spansel-Pellico and Chad Powell. I am Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVi, and I lead Schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.
Green Thumb International, your lawn and garden professionals, have the widest variety of shrubs, flowering plants, and garden supplies in the Santa Clarita Valley. Condition and fertilize your soil. Water does not easily penetrate clay soils and may pass too quickly beyond the root zone of plants in sandy soil. Adding organic matter to these soils will help correct imbalances and reduce water waste. On Newhall Avenue in Old Town Newhall near Sierra Highway, Green Thumb puts the green in your thumb.
Why did Mercedes-Benz of Valencia win the Dealer of Excellence Award in 2019?
Because we strive to provide the most outstanding sales experience.
Mercedes-Benz of Valencia COO Chris Paz.
We know you have high expectations. Our stellar team will meet and exceed your expectations. That's why we were named Mercedes Best of the Best, placing us in the top 10% of all Mercedes dealers nationwide.
Find out how you can lease a new Mercedes for unbelievably low monthly payments. Details at mbzvalencia.com.
It's time to enhance your natural beauty at Hestia Medical Spa. Select from a large menu of services, including an assortment of fillers that can be used in the face, lips, hands, and a variety of other body parts. Get rid of that double chin with Kybella, an injectable treatment to permanently destroy fat cells under the chin. Hestia Medical Spa also offers Botox, Dysport, and Xeomin to help reduce severe frown lines. Experience rejuvenation at Hestia Medical Spa. Call 753-3434 or go online to hestiamedicalspa.com.
When I think of being a personal injury lawyer, I think of all the people who don't know what to do and that I can help them. I'm Susan Owen, managing partner at Owen Patterson & Owen. When you are in an accident, you don't know what the future holds for you physically, emotionally, financially. It is so traumatizing and people often overlook that. If you've been injured, call Owen Patterson & Owen, 888-OPO-WINS. And we do, 888-OPO-WINS, or go to opolaw.com.
Many families face a new challenge. Childcare has forced one parent out of the workforce. Otter has created a solution. Otter is a childcare marketplace that connects Santa Clarita parents who need childcare with stay-at-home parents who can care for your kids alongside their own. Otter unlocks the ability for those parents to earn money and provide badly needed childcare for our valley. Otter connects you with your neighbors. Register for free at withotter.com. Withotter.com. Otter, childcare that feels like family.
You already know Salt Creek Grill has the best food in our valley. Well, now you can have Salt Creek's gourmet meals catered to your event.
I'm Greg Amsler, owner of Salt Creek Grill. I'd like to introduce you to a new level of catering, featuring our catering director, Tamara Levine.
Salt Creek Grill creates memorable experiences, which leaves our clients and guests with a sense of awe and excitement. From menu development to picturesque presentation, you'll enjoy culinary excellence and creative catering.
Salt Creek Grill, a new level of catering.
KHTS, AM 1220 and 98.1 FM Santa Clarita. It's 9 o'clock. Time for national news on KHTS.
He'll be speaking to the world. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Just a day after his mother's death, Britain's new monarch is scheduled to give his first address as king 1 hour from now.
He will have spent many years thinking about exactly what he might say when he inherited the throne from his mother. It's taken longer than many of us thought, and probably even King Charles III himself thought it would. But tonight he faces the pressure of convincing a sometimes concerned nation that there will be continuity and stability.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt at Buckingham Palace, where Charles and Queen Consort Camilla arrived just a few hours ago. The new king shaking hands with some of the thousands gathered outside the palace to mourn Queen Elizabeth. President Biden set to speak in a midterm battleground, Ohio, where Intel is building a $20 billion semiconductor plant.
This groundbreaking was originally scheduled for July, but there was some uncertainty about whether or not the CHIPS bill, would get enough support to pass. And now that it has, the president's coming out here today to tout this as an achievement right ahead of the midterm.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich in Columbus. Congressman Tim Ryan, who's running for Senate, will be with the president in the midst of a tight race with Republican J.D. Vance. Michigan voters will consider 2 amendments to the state constitution on abortion rights and voting rights, added to the fall ballot this morning by the state election board after challengers lost court fights. A county prosecutor in Tennessee trying to reassure the public amid recent murder cases involving suspects on parole.
This office takes repeat violent offenders very seriously. It merits a strong response. That's the kind of response we'll get from this district attorney's office.
Shelby County DA Steve Mulroy, after 19-year-old Ezekiel Kelly appeared in court facing a first-degree murder charge in a Memphis shooting spree that left 4 dead. America is listening to Fox News.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Are you tired of being tracked online? There's a simple solution. DuckDuckGo. It's an all-in-one privacy app with a built-in private search engine, web browser, one-click data clearing, email protection, and more, all for free. Download the app today and get the most comprehensive privacy protection with the push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
An urgent appeal from the head of the UN's nuclear watchdog agency for shelling to stop around a nuclear plant in Ukraine, operating in emergency mode for a 5th straight day. A Russian envoy says they support the call for fighting nearby to stop immediately, but Russia and Ukraine blame each other for the shelling. Firefighters in Southern California hoping weekend weather works in their favor as they battle another deadly wildfire.
The Fairview fire has exploded in size to over 27,000 acres in 4 days, fueled by heavy underbrush and erratic winds. The fire only 5% contained and blamed on at least 2 deaths and multiple structures being destroyed. Stephanie and Sean Orr are some of the thousands of people in Riverside County now forced to flee their homes.
I'm mentally and emotionally drained. Still a lot of anxiety, not knowing. It's tough.
That as Tropical Storm K churns off the coast of Mexico's Baja Peninsula, slowly moving northward towards Southern California that could bring much needed rain, or what firefighters fear most, disastrous winds.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Hurricane Earl still churning in the Atlantic, not expected to approach the U.S. coastline, but forecasters warn of dangerous surf along the U.S. East Coast and Canada's maritime provinces. A record 8 whooping cranes calling Louisiana home, building on years of conservation efforts.
The State Department of Wildlife and Fisheries says it's not just a Louisiana record for the world's rarest crane, but one for any flock reintroduced to the wild to help save the endangered bird. The previous record of 6 was set in 2018, a flock that was taught to migrate between Wisconsin and Florida by following ultralight aircraft. Both flocks are being nurtured in hope of creating a cushion if anything happens to the only natural flock which migrates between Texas and Alberta, Canada. CJ Papa, Fox News.
A Wall Street rally, the Dow's up 250. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks could break a string of 3 weeks of losses with an upside close today. In early trading, the gainers include Caterpillar, Walt Disney, Salesforce, Intel, and Dow Inc. Caterpillar was able to settle a tax issue with the IRS with no penalties. Kroger shares rose about 2% after its earnings and sales came in better than expected. The grocery store chain says the resilience and flexibility of its business model helped. Kroger was able to sell more groceries despite inflation making things cost more because of its store brands and because people are still buying groceries to cook at home. T-Mobile shares are losing ground, though the company has authorized a stock buyback worth $14 billion. It's a sign of its success after its merger with Sprint back in 2020. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Hi, this is Lisa Booth. With so much instability and inflation in the world, I recommend protecting your retirement by diversifying with gold and silver. I recommend Bishop Gold Group. Bishop Gold Group sells physical gold and silver delivered to your door or put directly in your IRA. Call now and tell them Lisa Booth sent you. Dial pound 250 on your mobile phone and mention keyword Bishop Gold or visit bishopgoldgroup.com. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dialed text message from Bishop Gold Group.
Thanks for listening to KHTS AM 1220, Canyon Country, California. K260CO 98.1 FM, Santa Clarita, California.
Catch the excitement at the Keller Williams VIP Properties grand opening, Thursday, September 15th at 4 p.m. Keller Williams VIP Properties is the #1 performing real estate brokerage in the Santa Clarita Valley, celebrating our new office with food vendors, desserts from Salt Sugar Flour Bakery, drinks, and music. The event is open to everyone. It's a great time to meet some of the figures within our community, as well as network with business professionals citywide. Join us on Thursday, September 15th at 4 p.m. on the Old Road and Valencia Boulevard.
Accidents happen, but rest assured Patterson's Collision Center is here to help. Patterson's is a family-owned and operated collision repair facility providing the Santa Clarita Valley with premium collision repairs. Patterson's prides itself on being the only California-certified green repair shop in all of Santa Clarita. They are insurance claim specialists and even offer payment plans for your deductible. For personalized, friendly service, visit pattersonscollisioncenter.com or call 294-1011 and let Patterson's Collision Center help ease your worries today.
KHTS strives to give the Santa Clarita Valley all the information they need, and when our computers aren't working the way they should, we call Resurgence, your true source for IT. Resurgence provides outstanding customer service while also providing the highest technical ability. They strive to do what's best to improve and protect your business. For more information on Resurgence, call 349-4114 or visit resurgenceit.com.
The following is sponsored programming and does not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, your host, and you are listening to SCVi, and I lead school's Eye on the Valley. And as promised, joining me now are the directors of SCVi Charter School, Santa Clarita's first classroom-based charter school. Martha Spansel-Pellico, she earned her bachelor's degree in English and secondary teaching credential from the Master's College, and her master's degree in educational leadership and administrative credential from the University of La Verne. Martha has got 18 years experience in school administration, and all of her 24 years of educational experience at local schools right here in Awesometown. And her partner, Chad Powell, he earned his bachelor's degree and teaching credential at Fresno State and his master's degree in administrative credential from Cal State Northridge. And like Martha, he has served at local schools here in Santa Clarita for over 20 years with extensive administrative experience. And now they both make up the powerhouse team that is the leadership team at SCVi. Martha, Chad, good morning and welcome back to Eye in the Valley.
Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
So good to have you. So good to see you around campus earlier this summer as you're ramping up for the new school year, SCVi's 15th year. It's incredible to think that we've been around for that long. In fact, I just saw Mr. Joe Messina wander through. He is one of the board members that authorizes us, and so we appreciate that, Mr. Messina. Now, Martha, Chad, we had Alan and Megan, your leadership residents, on just a couple of weeks ago, but I think that was just like the second, third day of school, something like that. Now you guys are a few weeks into it. So now that things are starting to develop a rhythm and that ball is rolling on your 15th school year at SCVi, how's the school year going so far?
Well, it's going great. We're off to a nice start. All the learners seem to be settling in, and our facilitators are, they're busy, and there's a lot of good buzz happening on campus.
Yep, facilitators are hitting their stride now that we're a few weeks in.
Fantastic, yeah. Like I said, it takes a little while to develop that rhythm, but you build relationships with the kids. You get to know them, they get to know you. You develop your program, and things start humming right along. I'm glad to hear that things are going well. Now, I mentioned this is SCVi's 15th year, but it's your second year with us. You both have decades of educational experience, administrative experience under your belts. But SCVi is a little bit different, and I think this time last year when we talked to you, we talked a little bit about that, because SCVi's culture, educational model, it can take a little bit of adjustment. So now heading into your second year, how are the two of you feeling today compared to when you first started at SCVi this time last year?
It feels so much better. It just feels like this is home. I remember talking to you last year at this time, and we were still just trying to get the lingo down, the differences, and learn the differences between this school and our previous schools. But it feels like now we're hitting the ground running. We've seen the school year all the way through, so we know more what to expect.
Yeah, it makes a big difference having seen everything once, and now we can go back and really try to leverage the things that we know are working and make adjustments on the things that we saw needed some change.
You know, Martha, you mentioned the word home, and that's kind of interesting. That sort of resonates with me because I had that adjustment period too years back when I started at SCVi, and I noticed some things that seemed odd to me at first. I noticed, kids sometimes would show up at school in pajamas and slippers, or they just looked a little bit different. They seemed to be acting a little bit more comfortably than I was used to. Kids would walk into my classroom, take off their shoes, and sit down in the corner and open up a book. Nothing wrong with that at all. But what struck me after a few months is, our learners feel at home. They feel completely comfortable, and oftentimes our learners would talk about how they feel more at home at SCVi than anywhere else, and that leads to success in the classroom as well, right? It's that feeling of being at home just allows our facilitators, our teachers, to take advantage of that comfort and strength to build on, right?
I mean, it's one of the things that is really unique and special about this place to me is that we really focus a strong portion of our time on social emotional learning and making sure that we're building community within our classrooms and that the learners feel safe with their facilitators, safe with each other in the classroom, safe to express ideas. And I think that we really try to build in that community the first few weeks of school. And I really feel it this year, more so than I did last year. There's a real buzz around the place, and people are feeling comfortable to be here.
That is awesome, especially as we pull out of the pandemic, that kids are feeling comfortable and ready to go for a new school year. I think we're in for a great year. So I talked about SCVi being unique, and from the culture to the education model, but we didn't really get into it. From your vantage point, what makes SCVi so unique? What are some of the things that makes our school who we are?
I think that's a great question, Matt. I think before I even just mention project-based learning and social-emotional learning, I'd just like to say that it's really the focus on the individual child, and we take seriously the idea of as individualized approach as we can, and also that whole child approach to education. And the small feel of the school, even though we're pretty good size, right? We have hundreds of learners. There still is that sort of small town, small school kind of feel to it that if you send your kids here, it's just impossible here to drop through the cracks. Mm-hmm. But having said that, what academically really sets us apart is our focus on projects. We present all the same standards that all the other schools do, but we present them in the form of real-world problems. And kids develop projects around those problems, as well as, like Martha was saying, is that not a day goes by that we don't focus on social-emotional learning, including ideas of, resilience and growth mindset and optimism.
Yeah, and there's so much that we could talk about. My previous guest, we had the superintendent of Newhall School District in here, and she was talking about the importance of dual language immersion. You all have a dual language immersion program at SCVi as well, don't you?
We do, and we actually expanded it this year. We added another grade, so we have a dual language immersion through K through 4.
Oh, wow. So available all the way from kindergarten up to fourth grade. So, gosh, I can imagine if a kid goes from kindergarten through fourth grade in a dual language immersion program, they're going to be fully fluent by the time they finish fourth grade. Are you guys going to open up a fifth grade next year, or does it go just through fourth grade?
No, we hope to.
Okay.
That's the plan, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Matt. Especially considering we're very proud of our dual language immersion in the sense that, and I don't know if any other school in the Valley does this. We worked with the Ministry of Education in Spain, and they have a program where they have some of their most highly qualified teachers that are looking to work in the United States. And we were able to work an arrangement out where we brought those native Spanish-speaking teachers to us. And so we have those teachers working in all levels of our DLI program.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Chad, because, these are people who are fully credentialed and have experience teaching the exact same content in their home country. Obviously, fantastic models of the language, both speaking as well as reading and writing. They also bring their culture into the classroom that really bolsters that dual language immersion. But I've got to tell you, I had the opportunity to work with these teachers that you brought from Spain and Mexico over the summer. Some of the best educators I've ever met. These people are phenomenal.
We agree.
We definitely agree. And they come with so many years of experience.
Oh, yeah. And have tremendous energy, all of them. Now, I can imagine your campus was full of energy last night because y'all were just bustling all day long. You had back-to-school night last night. So how did back-to-school night go for families and staff?
It was great. We had a really good turnout. Heard great feedback from parents, and we were walking around seeing the teachers present, and they were excited, and they were giving great presentations about their content and upcoming projects they have and what they do for social-emotional learning, and we heard really great feedback. I think everybody left really energized and excited about the year.
Yeah, and that carried over to this morning. We got a chance to talk to our all of our facilitators this morning, and in fact, we touched base with every single one of them this morning.
Oh, wow.
And they were all still very excited about last night.
Fantastic. Yeah, I remember back-to-school nights, and it can be tough to be at school all day long and then all night long and then come back the following morning. I'm glad to hear that they're coming with the energy, and what an amazing example that the two of you have been able to touch base with your entire staff, because you have TK through 12th grade. You've got a lot of folks there, and before 9 a.m. you were able to touch base with all of them. That is fantastic.
Yes, we did. We're excited about that,
Yeah.
So you mentioned that they were sharing some of the different projects that they have planned coming up. What are some of those things? Can you share a couple of them with us? What are some of those projects that you're looking forward to or that our facilitators have planned for our learners to engage in this year?
The projects, they're spanning the whole academic range. I mean, we have everything from working within ecosystems to government to city planning, and they're all along those ranges. And right now our facilitators and our teams are working hard to develop very interesting driving questions that are going to be entry points into those projects, because, again, we try to design things around real-world problems because we know that that's what adults face, and we want our education to mirror that world as much as we can. But we have already completed a number of social emotional learning projects. That's how we really put our emphasis on the first couple weeks of school. And there have been projects that go around. There was one that we saw from 8th grade about what does your emotional locker, like a school locker, look like? And they use symbolism and all these things to talk about what's happening. There was another one in science class where they were talking, they're already beginning to learn the parts of molecules and such, but they were personifying them and saying that if these had personal characteristics, what would they look like, and how do you feel about things? And so we really tapped into that social emotional learning to get us into the school year and set the groundwork for future projects.
I love that. And you mentioned, all those real world applications, because, we talk about the need to teach the state standards. And sometimes when you read them, they can come across a little dry, but when you really dig in, it's easy to see these standards that the state has written for us to teach our kids were done with a reason. These are skills that kids are going to need in order to succeed in the future. And as a teacher, as a facilitator, you just dig in and say, okay, so how does this apply? Who might do this? What profession might engage in this skill? And you build a project around that. I love, rather than reading about and then maybe taking a quiz on city government and state government, the kids get involved in city planning. And then it's not really, it's by design, but from the kids' viewpoint, project-based learning, the academics almost come by happenstance as they're attacking this problem or building their project. It really is that real-world application that lets kids put themselves into their projects.
Right.
We're talking with school directors from SCVi Charter School, Martha Spansel-Pellico and Chad Powell. We talked about some of the things that make our school unique, but there's a couple more things that I want to discuss, as well as maybe busting a myth or two about charter schools. You might be wondering, what is a charter school? How does it work? How is it different? And can me and my family get involved? You can. You'll find out how when we get back. I am Matt Watson. This is SCVi, and I lead Schools Eye on the Valley. And you're listening to your hometown station, KHTS.
With locations throughout the valley, Providence offers the most advanced technology and therapies for treating cancer in Southern California. Call 1-888-HEALING for your annual checkup or second opinion. The road to healing leads to Providence.
Do you suffer from peripheral neuropathy in your hands or feet? One drug after another, continuing numbness, tingling, burning pain, balance problems, decreased quality of life? Are you experimenting with drugs like Lyrica, Neurontin, gabapentin, Cymbalta with limited success and your doctor telling you just have to live with it? My name is Dr. Thomas Pilecki, DC, host of Get Better with Dr. Pilecki and founder of Neuropathy Dr. X. I'm here to tell you that there is now a non-invasive natural solution to your neuropathy right here in Santa Clarita, a solution that addresses the underlying causes, and we're proud to say that we have an 87 to 97% success rate with neuropathy sufferers in getting their lives back. I'd like to invite you to our next seminar, when we'll teach you how to reverse this deadly condition that affects over 50 million Americans today. To reserve your spot now, call 753-9340. This is a free seminar, but seating is limited, so call 753-9340 now.
SCVi is a tuition-free TK through 12 charter school that gives your child boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely. We offer a customized learning program built around your child's unique interests and strengths, with the only International Baccalaureate program in all of Santa Clarita. Our approach keeps students and families in step no matter where your learning is taking place. Be empowered to make your mark on the world at SCVi. To take a tour or enroll now in our one-of-a-kind program, visit ileadsantaclarita.org. iLead Schools, free to think, inspired to lead.
No words can describe the power of belonging to a group of close friends or being part of a family. Insight Treatment Center was founded more than 20 years ago to give teenagers a community of friends and family as they overcome issues like depression, anxiety, and trauma. The new Santa Clarita location is a COVID-secure environment where distance and good airflow are a priority. As a leader in providing intensive outpatient treatment to teenagers, Insight Treatment Center in Santa Clarita is here to help. Call 888-295-9995 or go online to insighttreatment.com.
If you need a new door, Preferred Glass and Windows has you covered. Don't let the name fool you. Preferred Glass and Windows is the one-stop glass shop, but they also do high-quality door installation with a variety of products, including vinyl, fiberglass, aluminum, wood-clad, and wood. Entry doors, wardrobe doors, patio doors, metal security doors, security screen doors, swinging and sliding doors, and also storefront door repair. Various grid patterns and etched glass is also available. Installation typically takes only a day, and it's backed by a lifetime guarantee. For more information, 255-1170.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi, and I lead Schools Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson, and I'm joined this morning by the directors of SCVi Charter School, Martha Spansel-Pellico and Chad Powell. Chad, Martha, we talked all about a lot of the projects, your dual language immersion program, some of the incredible things that your facilitators are doing with your learners there at SCVi. You talked a lot about the social emotional work that is done with our learners that really sets the stage for kids, yes, to be happy, healthy, confident, and that just sets the stage for deeper levels of learning. And all that comes through a couple of mechanisms that we use called morning meeting or advisory. Can you talk a little bit about morning meeting and advisory and why that's important to the growth of our learners?
Hey, Matt. Yeah, thanks. At its simplest level, it also serves as a bit of a homeroom. So if there's things happening on campus, it gives us a chance to talk about those things. If there's things happening out in the world that are pressing onto campus, it gives us a chance to talk about those things. But it's also the home base of our social emotional learning program. It gives us a chance to make sure that we're touching base daily in with the kids and see how they're doing. But most important, to make sure that we're developing healthy mindsets and making sure that our learners can handle adversity and be able to grow from that. But one of the things we're also excited about is something we've placed in there is that we've always had an emphasis on literacy here at SCVi, but we're really, really increasing our focus on reading and writing and literacy here. And so we've also implemented a DEAR program, a Drop Everything and Read program, and that's focused in that advisory time or circle time as well.
Oh, cool. So it's typically takes place in the morning where kids and teens connect with each other, connect with their facilitator, connect with the greater school community, build those social emotional skills, but then also really drive home the importance of the love for reading. That is fantastic.
Yep.
So we've kicked off the school year. You had back to school night last night, and I know kids are starting to take their what we call initial assessments. It's where our teachers, our facilitators get their baseline, and then the next kind of big family event coming up in the academic lives of your learners is ILPs. I'm talking about individualized learning plans for our learners and our staff as well. Can you tell us a little bit about ILPs and why they are so important to every learner at SCVi?
Sure. You mentioned that facilitator for working with the learners to do reading assessments, academic assessments. Once those are done, they get together with the learners' families, and together with the facilitator and the learner, they get together and they create goals for the year based on the data, based on their classroom performance, and usually it's one social emotional goal and one academic goal, and it really kind of serves as the the improvement goals that the learners and families can work on throughout the school year. It kind of serves as like a foundation for them to grow upon.
I love how go ahead.
One other thing I want to add, the thing that I like about it the most is they're all individualized. So it's wherever the learner is at, that's where they create the goal.
Right, and it is kind of the backbone of building that individualized education. What I love most is this isn't a meeting between the parent and teacher where the kid sits quietly beside and hears everything that these two adults have to say about the learner. They're actually the centerpiece of these conversations where they're not only the driving part of the conversation, but that allows them to own these academic and social emotional goals. Because it's, it's like going to the gym and having our personal trainer set goals for us and then not really share them with us, right? It's not going to work that way. You've got to own it yourself, right?
Of course, and it really gives the students a voice in their learning, too, which is something that we really value here at SCVi.
Yeah, it's hugely important, and I see learners, when they build their social emotional goals, they set goals like, making more friends, or they'll set goals that have to do with responsibility, completion of their work, executive functioning, or sometimes even at home. I do really well in school, but I want to work harder helping out at home more. And so it really is just an integrated approach to a whole child style of education. It really is a beautiful thing that kind of came out of that question. We have learners in special education programs that have this great process that's mandated by the government. You test the child, you see what their strengths and weaknesses are, and then you set individual goals, and then you help that child along as they achieve those goals. What a great process. Who wouldn't want that for their child? So we give it to everybody, don't we?
Exactly. Yep.
So most of SCVi's learners are, I mentioned that SCVi is the Valley's first classroom-based charter. So most of your learners are in class, in their seat 5 days a week. But you have a couple of other smaller programs on your campus. Can you tell us the difference between the three learning options at SCVi? I'm talking about the seat-based learner, the Innovation Studios learner, and the SCVi Exploration learner. What's the difference between those three different programs you offer?
Right. Seat-based is our largest program, and that looks very much like other seat-based schools that families are familiar with. Our Explorations program is a homeschooling-based program where we have one of our teachers, one of our facilitators. They work with the families. They help the families choose curriculum. The families then, once they select that curriculum, the teacher checks in, usually about once a month, does any appropriate testing that might be needed, or check in with the learner and the family and make sure that they're making progress on that curriculum. And our other program, known as Innovations, is a high school program, and this is really geared towards kids that are, for whatever reason, in and out of regular school. It could be that they're working in the studios. It could be that there is some sort of extended hospitalization or in and out of something like that, where they can't just attend school, but they are home. And so we work with them to get a hybrid of online and seat-based work.
You mentioned, kids being in the studio. The Innovation Studios program was actually perfect for one of your learners. I don't know if you ever met Griffin. He may have graduated before the two of you started at SCVi. He went into the Innovation Studios program because he was busy working on his first and then his second feature-length film that was released in the studio. So this kid was busy becoming a movie producer, a writer, director, producer. And so the Innovation Studios program worked perfectly for him. And like you said, there's a myriad of other reasons that kids would be involved in some of those programs.
Yeah, and we didn't get a chance to meet him. I should say that if anyone is interested in our Explorations program or our Innovations program, it's important that we do have a waiting list for those programs.
Okay.
So it is important that they contact us and get on that waiting list. But there's currently, we've cleared all of our waiting lists for our seat-based program. So we do have some seats available in all grades in our seat-based program.
Well, then this is the perfect time for me to ask, okay, if I'm interested in your Innovation Studios or Exploration program and want to get on the wait list, or if I'm interested in going into your seat-based program, how do I do that? Where do I go to get more information?
So you can go to our website. It's ileadsantaclarita.org, and you can click on at the very top of that page, there'll be Enroll Now button, and there also is a Schedule a Tour button, which I would encourage. The tours are throughout the semester, and dates are already on the website, so they can go ahead and reserve a spot in any one of those tours. And I would suggest that would be the first place that they want to start and come check out the school and see what we have to offer.
Fantastic. And that's Santa Clarita, ileadsantaclarita.org, ileadsantaclarita.org. And I'm going to give a little sneaky pro tip. If you're interested and you want to take a tour, you might be interested in enrolling your kid, but you're not sure you want to take that tour first, click the Enroll Now button, get your name on the list, and then take the tour. Because, then when Colleen calls you and says, hey, we have a spot for you, if you took the tour and you decide it's not the place for you, you can just tell Colleen, no thanks, no longer interested. But get yourself on the list first, and you kind of, you're not cutting in line. It's fair. You can do that. So
that's a good tip, man.
Yeah, good tip. Thank you.
So we talked a little bit about some of those myths of charter schools. I've been doing this for over a decade now, and people still ask me, about charter schools and how they're different from public schools. And I try to say, well, no, we are public schools. So let's talk about those, okay? First off, you're a charter school, you're TK through 12, different than the traditional district school, but social activities are so important to kids. Do you guys still have those social opportunities like clubs, dances, sports, things like that?
We do. We have clubs, sports, dances. We have all of these things that are offered at the local schools we do. We also have the advantage, though, since we have a high school, it's within our culture to do athletics and clubs and such. So we actually have more athletic options and possibly club offerings at our elementary level than most other elementary schools. And so that we consider the clubs and sports and activities and theater all to be these extracurriculars to supplement exactly what we're doing in class. There's also three what we think probably are some of the most common misconceptions of SCVi that we just like to address very quickly.
Sure.
The first one is that charter schools are public schools, which means that they are tuition free. So there is no tuition, there's no payment to come to SCVi. It doesn't cost you any more to come here than it would cost you to go to your neighborhood school.
Fantastic.
And on top of that, we don't have a attendance area like most traditional schools do. So you could enroll here from anywhere in the valley. We have learners that come here from Sherman Oaks. We have learners that come from Tarzana and all the way out in Piru. So you don't have to live in the neighborhood close to the school to be able to attend.
Right, and we have a lot of our commuter families that really take advantage of that. They work out here, and so they like to take their kids to school out here and keep them close by. And the third one is that with our project-based learning, sometimes there's a misconception because the kids spend so much time working together and talking together and planning together that there is the misconception that this is a low-structure environment. That's not the case. It actually, our facilitators have to provide a great deal of guidance and structure to make that feel natural and to help the students with that process. So the facilitators are involved in every step of the classroom, even when it appears the kids are working under their own direction. They really are, but nothing happens in that classroom that the teacher doesn't want to happen.
You're absolutely right, and I'm kind of putting on my business owner hat thinking, okay, business owner, employer, think about that. If you could have folks coming out of high school that are ready to go straight into your place of business that already have 12 or 13 years experience working with, planning with, collaborating with, presenting to, and supporting a diverse population of other people, would that not make the best employee in the world? Because that's what so many employers complain about is, yeah, you have the technical skills, but you can't communicate, you can't collaborate, you don't work well with others. Those are some of those key skills that we need to lead into the future. So I love the program that y'all are setting up there.
Oh, thank you, Matt.
Is there anything else that that you want to share with us, or anything else that you want to say to our listeners before we let you go?
No, we would just love to hear their questions, and so we would encourage them to, enroll or at least take a tour. That way we can speak with them personally and answer any questions that they might have specifically for us.
And I love that they get the opportunity to do that, to interact with the school directors when they're taking a tour. So one more time, if you're interested in enrolling or if you're curious, go to ileadsantaclarita.org. Go ahead and click on the Take a Tour button, or again, pro tip, click on the Enroll Now button, then take a tour. You can always change your mind later. Martha, Chad, thank you so much for taking the time to join us this morning. I know you've got a lot to do there on campus, but y'all have a good weekend and a great year.
Thanks, Matt. We appreciate it.
You guys take care. This is SCVi, and I lead Schools Eye on the Valley. I am Matt Watson, and this is your hometown station, KHTS.
SCVi is a tuition-free TK through 12 charter school that gives your child boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely. We offer a customized learning program built around your child's unique interests and strengths, with the only International Baccalaureate program in all of Santa Clarita. Our approach keeps students and families in step no matter where your learning is taking place. Be empowered to make your mark on the world at SCVi. To take a tour or enroll now in our one-of-a-kind program, visit ileadsantaclarita.org. iLead Schools, free to think, inspired to lead.
It's officially pumpkin spice season at Dunkin'. So much to choose from. Pumpkin cream cold brew, pumpkin spice signature latte, pumpkin donuts and muffins, pumpkin K-Cups. Now with the Dunkin' Rewards app, enjoy a $3 medium pumpkin cream cold brew or pumpkin spice signature latte now through September 13th. Order ahead with the Dunkin' app and accumulate points. Located on Bouquet Canyon in the Lowe's Shopping Center and on Sierra Highway in Canyon Country. Santa Clarita runs on Dunkin'.
Live theater is back and thriving at the Canyon Theater Guild. Located in downtown Newhall on Main Street, Canyon Theater Guild produces top-notch shows featuring excellent local and regional talent, musicals, plays, and workshops for young thespians. CTG has it all. The Canyon Theater Guild is located on Main Street and 6th, or you can call 661-799-2702, and the box office staff would love to help you. Find the CTG online at canyontheater.org.
Right now, as you're listening to this, the last thing on your mind is needing a plumber.
Whitaker Plumbing understands.
That's why we want you to store this in the for later use file in your brain.
Whitaker Plumbing will handle all emergencies.
Your toilet won't stop running?
Call Whitaker.
Your sink is dripping?
Call Whitaker.
Your garbage disposal sounds funky?
Whitaker will handle it.
Upgrading your water heater? All your plumbing services with one call.
Whitaker Plumbing. Whitaker with 1T Plumbing, SCV.com.
No doubt about it, LA is an awesome place to live. But even while living in the land of beaches and mountains, it's safe to say that we could all use a real vacation right about now. One where you don't have to stop for gas, cook your own meals, or strip your own sheets. Lucky for us, Princess Cruises has a port right here in LA. Now, for a limited time, LA residents can sail with Princess from just $89 per day to the beaches of Mexico, the tropics of Hawaii, or cruise along the California coast without getting stuck in traffic. That's right, just $89 per day. And while these great destinations aren't going anywhere, these deals won't be around forever. So visit princess.com, call 1-800-PRINCESS, or contact your travel advisor to book your cruise today. Set sail with LA's cruise line, Princess Cruises. Terms and restrictions apply. Promotional pricing ends November 30th, 2021. Ships are Bermudan and British registry. Before booking, consult the CDC website at www.cdc.gov.
A royal suite. There's nothing like a royal suite. Make your dreams come true.
A Royal Suite Home Furnishings has added a new high-end line of furniture. Check out their vast showroom with no interest financing available and 0% down on approved credit. A Royal Suite Home Furnishings featuring heritage quality furniture made in the USA. They even hired one of Santa Clarita's top in-house designers. A Royal Suite Home Furnishings in Center Point across from Sam's Club. ARoyalSuite.com.
A royal suite. Sweet dreams.
Catch the excitement at the Keller Williams VIP Properties grand opening, Thursday, September 15th at 4 p.m. Keller Williams VIP Properties is the #1 performing real estate brokerage in the Santa Clarita Valley, celebrating our new office with food vendors, desserts from Salt Sugar Flour Bakery, drinks, and music. The event is open to everyone. It's a great time to meet some of the figures within our community, as well as network with business professionals citywide. Join us on Thursday, September 15th at 4 p.m. on the Old Road and Valencia Boulevard.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi and I Lead Schools Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson. And now, it is time for Big T's 5 Minutes of Fame. You can hear him there clearing his throat. Y'all know Big T. He is a longtime resident and leader in the Santa Clarita Valley. Big T is an executive and philanthropist. He is also an amazing father, husband, and community leader. You know, Big T, he's like a big fluffy cloud. When he goes away, the day gets just a little bit brighter. Here he is. He is Mom's favorite. Big T, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Sorry, I thought I had that phone covered up.
You want to clear something out real quick? I can fill.
I'm good.
All right, there we go. Big T, you know we're live, right?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Now, Big T, I got a little bit of bad news for you and then some good news for you.
Alrighty.
Our listeners aren't aware, but a couple of weeks ago, we lost engineer Patty. Young Patty has moved on. In fact, he moved into the field of sports. You know, he was passionate about sports, and so he has moved on. But the good news is our show is now being captained by Engineer Matt. Engineer Matt, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, Matt and Big T.
So first of all, I need Big T to get to know you a little bit. Our listeners need to get to know you. Big T, Matt. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What are you interested in? What do you do when you're not running my show?
Well, I can be referred to as Matt T, replacing Pat T here.
Oh, I see. That might work.
And similar to Patty, big passion for sports, so could be following in his footsteps at some point. But big sports fan and actually a career changer. So was previously doing investing and financial advising, and I'm 27 years old. A couple years ago, I decided, you know what, I'm just not happy doing this. So I wanted to pursue a career in sports broadcasting and anything to do with the radio or television.
Nice. And gosh, so brilliant. Obviously, fantastic voice built for radio, and Big T, he's real easy on the eyes.
So, all right. So who are his teams?
Well, I am a little embarrassed to admit my teams, but I'll give you the big three for the North American sports at least. Baseball. I'm from New York. I am a New York Mets, New York Jets, and New York Knicks fan. It has been a long-suffering lifetime, but I like to say this, it's build character. It's definitely build character. So,
all right.
Mets, Jets, and Knicks, yeah, that'll build character, although this could be your year. The Mets have got me a little nervous.
The Mets look pretty good. They just beat 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. I know a lot of our listeners don't want to hear that. The Dodgers are just such a juggernaut of a team.
This is Big T's 5 Minutes of Fame. We need to move on. Don't want to talk about the Mets beating the Dodgers anymore. So here's the thing, Matt. So Tony's got some trivia questions, and he's going to throw them out there for us. And it's kind of like playing any kind of quiz show, Jeopardy, or anything like that. He's going to throw out the question. When you think you know the answer, you hit your buzzer, and then you'll get a point for a correct answer. Now, this is going to be a little bit weird, Tony, because our buzzer is our name, right? So when you think you know an answer, you just call out your name, but we're both Matt. Tony, what do we do about that?
Yeah, so you used to go by Frogger because Patty sounded like Matt, and so you had to get somebody that sounded closer to your name. I think we're sticking with Frogger. You may earn that nickname.
Okay. Well then, Matt, when you know an answer, call out Matt. I will call out Frogger, and I'll keep score. Here
Simple
we go, Big
enough.
T. What do you got for us?
I have some fun facts first. We have some Queen Elizabeth fun facts, just because that sounds a lot better than trivia with 2 Matts on the radio.
Okay.
So Queen Elizabeth, some fun facts. Did you know that she's the only member of the royal family to serve in the military? In 1944, she was 18 years old, and she was trained as a truck driver and a mechanic in the military. Okay. She wore those beautiful pastel-colored outfits and hats. You know why, Maddie?
Why is that?
It's because of her short stature, so that she would stand out and people could see her in a crowd. She loved to wave to everybody.
Oh, yeah, she did.
She did not have a driver's license, but she was still allowed to drive. She didn't have a passport, but she was still allowed to travel.
Crazy.
She did, however, have sovereign immunity. And then also the Queen, and some of this was on her own lobbying, she was exempt. Her castle in Scotland was exempt from emission standards. A couple of years ago when they enforced some new emission standards in Scotland, her attorneys lobbied to have her castle exempt from using renewable energy.
Wow. Yeah, you know what else is exempt from emission standards?
What is that?
Big T.
Big T.
Yes. She also was exempt from the racial, ethical, and sexual hiring practices, even at Buckingham Palace. Not saying she followed them or not. But also, as a monarch, she was not legally obligated to pay taxes. However, rest assured, since 1993, her and Charles have always paid their taxes.
Oh, ain't that kind of them.
Yep. So that puts us into some Queen Elizabeth trivia. So Matt and Frogger, she was a dog lover. What breed did she have more than 40 of?
Frogger.
It's
got to be a corgi. They got the cute little butts.
Corgis is correct. Other than the King's English, what language was Queen Elizabeth fluent in?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Frogger. French.
Frogger. French is correct.
Yeah, score.
You're up 2-0. I haven't even had a chance.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, man.
Right. What peaceful nation has been called the Switzerland of Central America?
Frogger. I'm going to go with Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. That is correct. So we're gonna go into Papa's Sports Corner for just a little bit. Who holds the record for the highest lifetime batting average at 367?
Matt.
Ted
Williams.
Incorrect.
Oh, Ted
Good
Williams
guess,
would
though.
have been my guess. Frogger, Joe DiMaggio.
Incorrect. He was a tiger.
Oh, a tiger. Oh, wow. I don't know.
It'll be Ty Cobb.
Oh, Ty Cobb. Who could forget?
Well, we all tried.
What Syracuse star was the first African American to win the Heisman Trophy in 1962?
Matt.
Jim
Brown?
Incorrect.
Oh, this is tough.
Good pull.
Frogger, you got anything?
Gale Sayers.
Incorrect. Ernie Davis. So, who was the 2021 or last year's Heisman Trophy winner?
Oh,
college football is not my thing.
Yeah, he was a freshman or he was an underclassman. He
was a freshman. He was the Alabama quarterback.
Yeah. What's his name?
You guys are killing it this morning. Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. There it is.
All right, we're in the midst of college football. So last Heisman question: who was the only person to win the Heisman Trophy twice?
Matt.
Would
that be Joe Theismann?
Incorrect.
Oh, it's Theismann.
He was a running back from the Ohio State. Number 45, I believe.
Oh. Ron Dane went to Wisconsin.
All right. Archie Griffin.
Archie. All right.
Which of the Great Lakes do all the others flow into?
Frogger.
Michigan. Incorrect.
Ooh.
I don't even know if I could name one of the Great Lakes. I'll be honest with you.
All right, it's Ontario.
Oh.
What's the southern dish that's made of pig's small intestines?
Oh, Frogger. Chitlins, Yahoo.
Chitlins is correct.
Very nice.
California, New York, and what other state have the most electoral votes?
Frogger.
Think big. Yeah.
Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas, right?
That's right. The song Celebration was a #1 hit for what group? Celebrate good times. Come on.
Frogger.
That'd
be Sister Sledge.
Incorrect.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, I can see it.
I can't think of it. I can't think of who it is.
It's Kool and the Gang.
Kool and the Gang. Oh, I love Kool and the Gang.
I'm thinking We Are Family.
What metal has been applied to steel that has been galvanized?
Frogger. Iron?
Frogger.
Iron?
Incorrect.
Pick a metal.
You got anything, Matt?
I really was not good in science class, but I'm going to say copper.
It's zinc.
Well, of course.
Miami, Bermuda, and what other place make up the 3 points of the Bermuda Triangle?
Oh. Frogger.
Yes, Frogger.
Is it Cuba?
Incorrect.
Zutalo.
I have no chance. I have no chance.
If you would have taken the mayor position, Frogger, you would know who it was.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
That would have been my guess if I was going to give one.
Well, see, that's why you got to guess, man.
I guess so.
What two countries originally fought in the French-Indian War?
Frogger.
Frogger.
Contrary to popular belief, it's not the French and the Indians. It's France and Britain.
Yes, it is, France and Britain.
All right. History major.
What product did Hershey launch in 1993 to complement its Kisses?
Matt. M&M's.
Good pull, but no.
No.
They were.
the Hugs.
If you remember, they
Hugs.
were white chocolate and dark chocolate wrapped around each other.
Right, Frogger. Hugs.
Yeah, Hugs are correct.
Oh.
What mountain erupted to destroy Pompeii?
Matt.
We're
Vesuvio.
going to give that to you, Vesuvius. Yes, you're on the board, Matt.
He's speaking in Italian. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. See, I'm Italian, so I had to get that one.
Right.
There you go. I had to throw in a Patty question. What high school did Beavis and Butthead attend?
Oh, God. Oh, man. Let me call Patty really quick.
Right. I'm going to go with, we went to high school? How about Central High?
No, it's not Central High.
All right.
I have no guess on that one. That's all you.
Highland High.
Okay.
Highland High. All right, that makes sense.
All right. What was Otto Titzling given credit for inventing?
I know this one, Frogger.
Frogger?
This is a family show, Big T. It was the brassiere.
Yes, I was clearing my throat. That's the problem.
Right.
It was the brassiere.
All right, one more question, Big T.
All right, who created Dennis the Menace?
Frogger, his parents.
Frogger. His parents.
I don't know.
That's
we got Hank Ketchum.
Hank Ketchum. Oh, okay. Sounds good. All right, Matt, you got one more week to bone up. We'll see you again next week.
Yeah, I have some studying to do, no doubt. Thanks, Big T.
Big T, thanks for swinging by. We also want to thank our guest, the superintendent, the brand new superintendent of the Newhall School District, Dr. Leticia Hernandez, Tim Trauig from Guardians of Santa Clarita Valley, school directors at SCVi Charter School, Martha Spansel-Pellico and Chad Powell, producer Sarah, engineer Matt, Big T, and thank you for listening. Hey, life is hard, but we're all here to help each other along. Be well, do good. Join us again next week and every Friday at 8 a.m. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVi, and I lead Schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.